You want to listen to a podcast?
By who?
Georgia GOP Congressman Doug Collins.
How is it?
The greatest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
I could not believe my ears.
In this house, wherever the rules are disregarded, chaos and mob rule. It has been said today, where is bravery? I'll tell you where bravery is found and courage is found. It's found in this minority who has lived through the last year of nothing but rules being broken, people being put down, questions not being answered. And this majority say, be damned with anything else. We're going to impeach and do whatever we want to do. Why? Because we won an election. I guarantee you, one day you'll be back in the minority and it ain't going to be that fun. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Doug Collins Podcast. Glad to have you with us. I'm excited about today. We're going to talk about something that I like to do, that I love to do with a very special person in my life. And you hear me talk about my bride, Lisa, all the time. And she does travel. She taught for 31 years in the school system, and now she has been doing a lot of different things, but she's settled on helping people with travel needs. And this is a pretty amazing thing. And we're just going to have a conversation here after the break about what it is going on with travel, you know, getting on planes, going to these resorts and cruises. And is this more expensive than I can afford? What you're going to find out is it's amazing what you can do. And by the way, travel agents still exist. That's what you're going to find out today. After the break. Got a lot of things going on this week, but I just want to have this break. As holidays are upon us, we're getting ready for next, as many of you are preparing for winter, but then getting ready for next spring and summer and getting trips ready. This will be just a good time for us to talk about, you know, getting stuff planned and just what fun you can have on a family vacation. So this is it here after the break. We're going to talk to Miss Lisa Collins, one of my favorite Gonna Be podcasts. We're excited about this. We'll see you right after the break. Hey, folks, you know, when you look out and you see the country and just the disarray it is, you see the Biden administration, you see the wholesale prices have just went through the roof again. Inflation is tearing us up. If you have your finances all impinged in just a few areas, if you're just in stocks and bonds and you're not diversified, I got some news for you. You need a navigator. You need somebody to help you get to where you need to go with those finances. And I can't think of anybody better to do that than my friends at Legacy Precious Metals. You need precious metals in that portfolio. You need gold and silver. And Legacy Precious Metals, the folks there, they're the navigators. They know how to deal with tough times. They know and how to look ahead and take your personal situation and make it something that can be workable for you in the long term, because that's at the end of the day, that's the one you're most concerned about. You need to make sure that your personal finances and your retirement are secure. You need folks like Legacy Precious Metals helping you in that. They will take the time to learn you. They'll learn your finances. They'll learn where your investment goals are, and they'll help you get there. And metals and gold right now in this kind of crazy inflation, in this kind of crazy economy with the Biden's economy is just, you need that help. And Legacy Precious Metals is the one to do that. So give Legacy Precious Metals a call, 866-528-1903, 866-528-1903, or you can always visit them online at legacypminvestments.com, and you can download their free investor's guide. Legacy Precious Metals, they're the ones you need. They're the navigators to help you through these turbulent times. Hey everybody, it's MyPillow's 20th year anniversary, and over 80 million MyPillows have been sold. Mike Lindell and MyPillow wants to thank each of you and every one of you for giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. You will receive a queen-size MyPillow for $19.98. Regular price is $69.98, and just $10 more for a king size. You will receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products, such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, my slippers, and so much more. This is a time to try out something other than the amazing products that you've had your eye on. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use the promo Collins, Collins, to receive this amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for $19.98, or call 800-986-3994. This offer comes with a 10-year warranty and 60-day money-back guarantee. It's time to start getting the quality sleep you deserve. You know how I know that? Because I sleep on a MyPillow every night. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code Collins, Collins, or call 800-986-3994 today. All right. We're back here after the break, and I am pleased, as I said on the intro to the show today, I am pleased to have my absolute best half of my life, the person that I've been married to for 35 years. She is an amazing wife and mother, but she has been a teacher for 30-something years in the school system here in Georgia. And after she retired, besides running all of us here in the world and keeping Cree straight, as you've met Cree many times here on the podcast, she does travel. And it was sort of interesting. She and I just sort of discovered this after we had a friend, set us up on a cruise and get it all packaged. And they said, hey, how would you like to do this? And Lisa said, this might be something I want to do. So, Lisa, for your first official time on the podcast, welcome to the podcast.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Doug.
Well, it's good. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hey, look, so there is such a thing as a travel agent now. I mean, you go in now and everybody says they just go on their computer and do it themselves. But you're a travel agent just like sort of the old travel agents, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yes. After COVID and travel all shut down, people started getting back out and traveling again. So there's definitely been a boom in the travel industry.
Well, that's good. You don't have to have a travel agent, do you? But what do you do as a travel agent that could help maybe somebody who's listening to the podcast who's thinking, hey, I see all these ads for Expedia and all these others. What does a travel agent give you, Lisa, that maybe doing it yourself doesn't?
Well, the biggest thing is that I take away all the stress. I make sure that, I find out all the information and it doesn't cost anybody any money working with me as part of Travelmation. But the biggest thing is that I do along with you, all the planning, but I'm the one searching. I'm the one looking for those best deals.
So if something goes wrong, they call you?
Yes.
Now, that's pretty cool. I like that. Well, we'll get back into Travelmation here but you work for a company called Travelmation, which is a large group that works with a lot of different travel destinations and everything else, from cruises to Walt Disney to all-inclusives and everything, don't they?
Yes. Anywhere, everywhere. There's nothing that's not within our reach.
Well, before we get into actually people doing this, let's people today, and you mentioned COVID, and I appreciate you doing that. Because people, beforehand were traveling. COVID sort of shut a lot of that down. Right now, is it safe to say that travel is back to people ready to go and get out again?
Definitely. People are ready to go out and see the world and realize that they may not have tomorrow. And so they want to experience all that they can today because we have no promise of tomorrow.
Oh, that's an interesting statement. I hadn't thought about that, Lisa, as we talk about this. People, we sort of wait, and, we'll do it eventually. And, you and I both come from small towns in Georgia, and we have been, able to go a lot of places in the world. But, even we've talked about times where, we'll do that later. What would you say to somebody right now who's maybe thinking about, traveling, and they say, we'll do it later?
When is later?
Great comment.
Later never gets here.
Yeah. Do you think later never gets here, does it?
No. We always push it off. So never have enough money, never, and the biggest thing I can say for those people is go ahead and plan it out. You don't have to pay it all at one time. You can budget it out over a year. I mean, you can make reservations up to, through 2025 now in a lot of places. So you can do 18 months out without any problems.
Well, that is pretty cool. Well, you and I have had the ability to travel a lot of places, and we have hit a lot of continents. I think you and I, South America is one we haven't hit yet in Australia. We're working on that. Folks, I'm married to a travel agent. I'm trying to figure out where we're going to get to go next in this. But when you went, I got just a question for you. When you went to Europe, what was it like experiencing? Because you've been, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but you've been to England, you've been to France, you've been to Germany, you've been to Sweden, you've been to Bratislava, you've been to Czechoslovakia, the old Czechoslovakia, Italy. What surprised you going to Europe? If you have somebody out there saying, I could never go to Europe, what would you tell them?
Easiest place to maneuver without a question. When we went with our oldest son and learning all the transportation, we never had any issues of going wherever we wanted to go. Very, very easy to get around. People were super friendly. Give it a shot. No different than, probably easier than going to New York.
Oh, wow. Well, what was from your experience? What was your favorite? One of your favorite things in Europe? If you look, I know there's a lot, but you went to a lot of cities. What was one of from maybe growing up or from not traveling across the pond, so to speak? When you got there, what was like? Wow, I'm glad I saw this.
Well, as you said, being a teacher, you read about all this history stuff, and English has got a ton of history that actually brings it to the forefront of, yes, this really happened, all the way to Churchill and his fingers embedded within his chair. and stuff. So, but yeah, just, when we went to Germany and seeing the two walls, not just the one wall, but the two walls that they would get trapped in, just visualizing it all in person means a lot.
Travel expands your horizons, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You don't know what's outside of that little bitty town that you talked about, that we grew up in. The United States is great, but we all have similar cultures. When you go outside the continental United States, it's different.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think sometimes people fear about traveling to other countries, and we're going to get to some fun trips to the Caribbean here in just a minute, but they also concerned about, I'm scared to go to France and Germany. I don't speak French and I don't speak German, and mi español es muy poco. My Spanish ain't gonna get me anywhere. But is that a concern for, real? I mean, I know you should try and learn at least little phrases, but if you go to Europe, one of the things that is pretty interesting to me is you don't have to know the language.
No, you do not. But now there's so many apps that you can put on your phone to translate. When I was even in Miami, that I had a non-English speaking Uber driver, and he had it all on his phone, to make sure that he and I were communicating. And he was translating everything that I was saying so he could understand it, and vice versa.
That's pretty cool. The amazing of the technology, you can look in one of these little phones like this nowadays as you get it. Well, let's come back. I mean, people want to go everywhere, and I've had the ability to go to China and other places like that, even, wake up. Folks, I'm just going to tell you right now, travel is something that expands your horizons. And I believe one of the reasons that we struggle so much in this world is we don't listen to enough, and we don't get outside our little bubble, as Lisa said was so great. But let's get it back to what people do a lot of here in the United States. They like to go to the beach. They like to go to the mountains and ski. They like to go to the all-inclusives. But you got, in y'all's portfolio, y'all do, of course, Disney. You do cruises. You do all-inclusives. Help me out here a little bit, because there's a lot of brands that y'all work with, not just the big brand Sandals and Beaches and all. There's others that you work with. Sort of give me a breakdown if somebody's looking at a cruise in a destination like a Sandals or something. What's the big difference there?
Well, there's more commonalities than there are differences in those two. One's on water and one's on land, but they're both all inclusive between those resorts and stuff. There are some extras on a cruise, like your drink packages and stuff, whereas at Sandals are mostly all inclusive. Everything, including your drink packages, are there. Gratuities are paid at both places up front, so you don't even have to get your wallet out. That's probably the biggest reason to go either on a cruise or to an all-inclusive, whether it be Sandals or any of the other resorts in Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Aruba, is that, you can find them and eat when you want to, drink when you want to, and never have to get out your wallet. Well,
let's talk about cruises for a minute, because you and I have been on cruises together, and we've actually taken our whole family on a cruise years ago. And we have a special needs daughter, and she's in a wheelchair. What about for the maybe people who listen to this podcast? I know you just got a certification in dealing with accessibility and all on cruises. If you're a little bit older and you're scared about walking around, or maybe you have a walker, or even if you're you have a disability where you can't get out of a wheelchair, do cruises and things like that? Could somebody still do a cruise if they're not able to walk real well?
Absolutely. The biggest thing is that you need to plan ahead and go ahead and get it, because sometimes those suites are taken a lot quicker. And sometimes they're not valid, so we have to actually call it in and verify that they do need an accessibility room. There's not that many on the ship. They're getting to be more. Some ships are more accessible than others, but the community customer service is a great person to get to know, so that they'll be able to make room for you at dinner time, whenever you want to go. The hallways, everything can be made and different routes to go through, and make sure that you are, if you're not able to physically walk. The other thing, though, there are other disabilities that people need to consider. Autism is on the rise, as many of us know. So they are, let us know, or let me know what your disability is. It may be sensory to music and loud noises, or the lights flickering that causes
the sensitivities.
I can't think, the epilepsy type, and the flickering lights, and those are the plays or those are the shows that people don't need to go to. and they need to know in advance, so that they can plan out their itinerary ahead of time. So yes, there are many different disabilities, and not just walking, hearing. Like I said, just emotional. And they will even allow emotional dogs on the ships, but of course, it all has to have the correct paperwork to go along with it. I can't take Cree.
No, Cree can't go, but she would want to. Well, I mean, that's pretty cool. But now, interestingly enough, so one of the things I've heard this question before from people: are all cruises the same? I mean, because you think about this as you got all these different outfits: Royal Caribbean, Virgin, Carnival, everybody. Are they all the same, or do they have some of them have more emphasis to one group or another?
They are very much different in the clientele and what they offer. They are some cruises that cater more to the younger generation and those with kids that have more the roller coasters even on the ships, and more they have the kids clubs that your kids can go to, just like the one as you said, when we took it the whole family, all 3 kids could go to a separate section and be with people their own age. Then there are other cruises that are more for the middle of the road, I guess you could say, that have the nightlife. And then, you've got the one that we're getting ready to go on that's just all adults. You have to be an adult. No kids are allowed whatsoever. And then let's don't forget about river cruises. River cruises hold less than 200 people. So river cruises, are a little bit more on the luxury side, bigger suites, things on this line. So yes, they are all similar in some ways, but then they're all different. You also need to remember that when you go on a cruise, if budget is a factor, there are ways that you can cut down and adjust your budget between the staterooms that you choose, to the times that you go and how far in advance you plan. The further out you plan, the cheaper it's going to be.
Yeah, I was pretty amazed at the fact, and for those of you out there looking, and maybe some of you get vacations that you don't have to take a vacation typically in the summertime. But that may be good, because really the cruise industry and some of the Caribbean stuff, their actual busy time is from November to May, isn't it?
Yes, and that's when it's still really hot. But like you said, most people, if they have kids, cannot go during that time, and it's a holiday season. But there are a lot of people that like to have the ability to get out and go whenever. And if you can go on a spur of the moment, there's lots of deals, for the weekend getaways and things along that line. But yeah, you can travel anywhere at any point in time. Jackson Hole, Wyoming is a very popular place lately that people want to go, as well as Europe. So, it's just wherever you want to go, when you want to go, and let's plan it.
Well, and I think that's the biggest issue here is it doesn't matter. You don't have to go to the beach in the summer. You can actually, and I love how you mentioned Jackson Hole. You mentioned skis in Denver. I know you just booked a couple of trips to Denver. You booked some stuff to Boston. People like to go see the leaves. They like to go snow skiing. So that's something you can do as well for them, correct?
Yes. Like I said, it needs to be it's just not Denver. It's like if you're going to go snow skiing, then you actually need to go to a ski resort to stay, not stay in Denver, unless you just want to travel. The more knowledge I know, the better I can meet your needs. There's just a lot to it, and I can't read your mind, but most of the time, unfortunately, people are a little bit hesitant to share exactly what they want. They think that, okay, if you go to Denver, everybody goes to ski. That's not true. I've been to Colorado before, and we didn't go ski.
Yeah, Denver's a whole different city. Believe me, it's got enough there for Denver to go through. But you get out to the Colorado Springs, you go out in Breckenridge, you get out into the Allen, the other places in Colorado. But also Utah is a great ski. I mean, Park City and everything we've been to before as well. Amazing skiing in those areas. 300 inches of snow a year in these places as you go. Well, one of the things is, now I also hear this a lot. On a cruise or in these, all-inclusive sandals resorts in the Mexican coast, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, all these as well. How's the food?
How's the food?
Yeah.
For someone that is not a foodie, try it. The food is good. You can go, they've got different types of cuisine on the ships as well as on the resorts. You choose what you want to eat. If you don't like it, if you're not all-inclusive, get something else. So the food is good. The drinks are good. It's just all, the proportions may not be as big as you would like. So order another one, or come back again, because, they don't want to waste any more food, especially if you're dining have a dining reservation. If you're at the buffets, then you can eat whatever you want as much as you want. So you've got the different opportunities, whether it's a sit down, a reservation, or you can go to the buffets, or you can just go get a hamburger.
And it doesn't you don't have to spend a king's ransom to go on these and get the food and other stuff. You can make it where you still get these food, you get the food options and others, but you don't have to go buy a big drink package or buy an extra package for food or anything else like this all the time, do you?
No, it comes with drinks. The cruises, they usually come with your sodas and your waters and things like this. But if you want specialty drinks like your Starbucks type coffee, or you want special teas, or even if you want alcoholic beverages, then yes, they do charge. You buy a package, and so in different cruises do things differently. And the fact that in some cruises, everybody in the stateroom has to buy a drink package, whether it's the soda package or the alcoholic package. And then they make sure they card everybody so that nobody under the legal age is drinking.
Yeah, but I know that Miss Lisa, and this is the part of being in love with this woman for well over 35 years, there's those little things they have going out there. Like if you go to some of the Sandals or you go onto the cruises, you have these things called, Bob Marley's and Purple Hazes, these frozen little fruity drinks that they bring to you as well. And the difference in that would be like the Sandals and all-inclusives, they cover all of that basically in their drink package, food prices all included, not like the cruises, which do that a little differently, correct?
That is correct and everything. So it doesn't matter what you drink.
Well, as we look at this, and hopefully we'll talk more about this as we go forward, some of the big things I've heard from you so far is, number one, plan ahead. And the further out you can plan, the better off you are for prices and everything else. What would you also recommend? Is there a place that people can go? They want to get in touch with you, and they have an idea about what they want to do. What do you offer, maybe through a website or something, where they can go and get you the information that you need to help them?
My Facebook page and my Instagram both have links that they can click on and fill out some information, or they can just email me, and we can get started from there. Easy to find without any problem whatsoever, and we just got to get started. And most people say, well, I'm not in a hurry. Then all of a sudden they want to do it. Well, you need to go ahead and make those decisions and plan it. But, you do need to fill out the forms. You do need to give me as much information as possible, and let me know if you're celebrating anything special, so that, you can have the best trip.
And also give you a budget, right?
Yes, that is part of it. And that budget is either with or without airfare. And that's some things that people don't remember, is that sometimes your flights cost almost as much as the trip itself, because flights are astronomical.
And for some folks like me, who travel a lot, who have miles, you can help them understand it's better sometimes for them to use that in a different way to maybe help cut costs, right?
Yes. And sometimes, we can book the flights, but you're absolutely right. Sometimes it's easier for them to use the miles, so that, the flight's not an issue at all. But other times, we can always add the trip for your miles. But yes, flights are expensive.
But I have a question. I heard this the other day. Somebody was telling them what you did, and they said, but I don't want to pay for a travel agent. Do they have to pay for you, Lisa?
Well, there are some travel agencies that do charge a fee for our planning service. Okay. We at Travelmation, that I'm affiliated with, we do not charge for our services. They are parts, that they may add an extra amount to do it, like some people that I do know in some sections of travel industry. Yes, we'll be glad to take care of all this for an extra $50, or something. But I myself do not charge anything. I get all of my revenue from the vendors. They just want their numbers to rise, so they pay us to book trips to their places.
So is there any reason for somebody and their wife and their husband to be over their computer going to 5 different websites and looking at the best values and saying, well, I went directly to Royal Caribbean and I got this? You can get them the same thing, if not better, and they don't have any of that stress.
That is true. And that was proven this year when I had a friend that was booking actually a cruise on another ship. And they were going through it, and I was going through it at the same time. And at the end, we did not have the same numbers. But then I found out they clicked on one discount, and I had clicked on the other, and so we figured out, and then it was identical. But the biggest thing I can tell is for all those people that you just talked about that are what I consider OCD, they're going to do it themselves. And so don't waste someone else's time, mine or anybody else's, if you're going to go behind me and make sure that this is the cheapest. The cheapest is not always the best. And that's what some people don't look at. They don't look at the ratings of the hotels or the resorts or any reviews or anything along this line. Their bottom line is the price. And if it's all about a price and not the memories, you might want to rethink where you're going.
Outstanding. The best advice I've heard. All right, how do they get in touch with you? What's the Facebook page? What's the email address? We'll put this, by the way, folks, on the podcast, I'm going to put this in the liner notes as well. But how would they get in touch with you, Lisa?
My email is Lisa Collins at Travelmation, and that is with an M.net. And then like I said, you can find me at Lisa Jordan Collins on Instagram as well as on Facebook.
Outstanding. Folks, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go traveling. Of course, I have the benefit of traveling with this beautiful lady anywhere I go. So, folks, get with her, call her, email her, go to Lisa Jordan Collins on Instagram. Is the email address again?
Lisa Collins at Travelmation.net.
Lisa Collins at Travelmation.net. Get her there. Shoot her a direct message, shoot her an email, and fill out those forms on the Linktree. She can get you set up. Now's the time to start planning for that trip that you've been putting off for a long time. Don't let the thinking of what all could come stop you from doing what you want to do. Lisa, thank you so much for being a part of the Doug Collins podcast today. You gave out some great information. And folks, if you have any more information you want from me, go to the DougCollinsPodcast.com. Hit that little button up there where it says email. Send me your request. If you need speaking across the country or anywhere else, I'm free to take those available on the email as well. Also, as you go, make sure you hit subscribe because you get content like this that helps you find that next big adventure. Till next time, we'll see you on the Doug Collins Podcast.